This is one of the most haunted places in the UK, and an aggressive entity called the Black Monk is said to be its resident ghost. YouTube team KJ Hauntings spends the night here, and they find the Black Monk is up to no good. At one point, they hear someone or something crying. The cry is heard after an earlier noise that also sounds like a cry to me.
In the ER.
And those are not the only creepy sounds they hear. They also hear disturbing bangs and bumps, like this one. And this one. Judging by the terrible cries and odd bangs, I think something nefarious is going on here, and if they don't get out of here, soon they will be next. A YouTuber captures an apparition on his doorbell cam that somehow changes shape and color. First, it has an oversized white head with no face, then it becomes see-through to the point where you can make out the bush behind it, and then it switches to a blinding white color without getting thinner. The whole time it somewhat resembles a human in height and gait, but how? Since this is the only footage of the apparition, we may never know. Would you take something that turned you into a zombie? Please don't do it, because it's a horrible idea. In October of 2017, a number of sightings were reported in Brazil, in which humans were behaving monstrously, with some running their heads into windshields, and others flailing their arms and screaming nonsense as if they were possessed. This video clip shows what a nightmare this can be.
Love you.
He pounds the windshield as well before taking a running start at it with his head. With his arms outstretched, the boy screams into the ethers, while one guy outside holds an arm out, seemingly trying to calm him. The boy continues to scream in place before trying to smash his way into the bus again. This goes on for several minutes. Whatever this man has taken to be acting this way, just remember, it's never a good idea to do the same. This video follows a Filipino ghost hunter who's exploring an abandoned hospital solo. At around 4 minutes in, as he's climbing some stairs, he hears high-pitched shouting. The Redditor who submitted this suggests its scream is that of either a child or a woman. The ghost hunter proceeds to explore the entire floor. All the while, you can hear the screeching in the background. As he nears one end of the floor, traffic is heard roaring out the window. Once silence has fallen again, the screaming can be distantly heard, and then at 7:15 very clearly and nearer. The sound is terrifying, but we never find the source. What do you think it could be? My best guess is something paranormal. Does this man have an unwanted paranormal roommate? Published in January of 2021, this individual woke up to doors slamming and got up to check it out. The man says this is a frequent occurrence.
My door just slammed again. There's no windows open in the house at all.
As he looks around the house, his roommate, Brad, asks if he's the one slamming the door.
That you?
No.
He answers in the negative and continues his search, revealing that only he and Brad are home. After a moment, the table in the middle of the living room floor jerks toward him on its own.
Alright.
You up?
It wasn't me, man. I didn't even touch it.
He watches the table for a bit, while Brad seems completely unconcerned and out of it. The cameraman shows that there are no cords around or attached to the table that he could have tripped over. The only cords are to the Nintendo remote controls, but they are in front of the table. So how did this table move so aggressively? There must be spirits abound in this haunted home. Bob Osborne flies down a bumpy mountainous road in Bolivia. With little concern for his health or safety, the 7-minute downhill race is filled with large rocks like this one. He navigates the obstacle just in time. Look how slow this van is driving. That's the appropriate speed for such a treacherous road, yet it's quickly passed. Keep in mind this vehicle could easily kick a rock straight into their dirt bike at any time and send them careening to their doom. They eventually make it to the bottom of the mountain still in one piece. I just hope Bob Osborne performs regular maintenance on his bike, because this looks like the type of road that could snap a tire clean off at any time. There are actual ghosts roaming around this ghost town? Published by Franco TV in April of 2022, this paranormal investigator is exploring an abandoned ghost town. At least he thinks it's abandoned. Franco soon hears movement. Was it something outside, or was this a bad omen? Although it seems like the mystery is solved, he later hears an unexplained snap in a dark room of the building.
I'm not sure what exactly is causing them. Oh my...
And then he finds this, another bad sign. The spooky sounds don't let up.
Right.
And Franco concludes that he's not alone.
I think there's somebody there. Yeah, hold on, there's someone.
But later he finds another animal friend who may have been causing all the racket.
Hey. Hi.
Was it this cat? Or is there someone else lurking here unseen? A possible ghost sighting in the Indian town of Kudail has left construction worker witnesses wondering what it was they saw walking around late at night.
Hey, पुढे जाऊ नका रे.
गाडी पाठी घे. गाडी पाठी घे. राहुल गाडी पाठी घे.
अबे
उधर आहे.
हे पाठी घे रे, पाठी घे.
पुढे हे लाईट मार, लाईट मार. Come.
You can hear them talking about the figure when suddenly it lets out a loud scream that all of them hear over the construction equipment. This video is real, warns the uploader, who says that this was taken by his sister's friend at 2:30 in the morning. I'm not sure if I believe him or not, but if I lived in the area, I definitely wouldn't take the chance of walking around early in the morning and finding out. A Russian YouTuber named Fikfoss decides to feed a bear a late-night fish snack through his window. There's only one problem. Supplies are limited, and the bear seems to want to help itself to everything at once. Multiple times it has to be reminded to mind its manners, and at 24 seconds you can see for yourself that I'm not exaggerating when I say its paw is the size of your head, with long black claws the size of your whole finger. Feeding time becomes less fun when you realize the only way to close this window is by reaching out into the darkness past the hungry bear's mouth to grab this latch. They wait until it walks away satisfied before closing the window. Thankfully, it didn't try to get in this time, but bears have a long memory, and surely it will be back when it's hungry. Perhaps next time for them if no fish is available. What's this strange light doing here? That's what Michael Oishi wants to know, and so far no one has been able to help him. I personally think this looks like a high-powered spotlight, because I see a smaller light artifact that seems to generally correspond with its movements, indicating that this is actually part of a beam coming from the bottom of the screen. With that said, I wonder what's off-camera casting this long, creepy shadow. A home security camera caught this scary sight in Corvina. Posted by Ruby Gonzalez in December of 2018, Ruby writes, 2 individuals tried to enter a home. One knocked on the door and called out the resident's first name several times. The family was home at the time. You can see one of the men approach with his hood up and a kerchief covering his mouth, wearing a backpack. He knocks on the door, waiting with his head down, likely aware of where the security camera is located. A second dude also approaches, dressed in the same fashion. He's carrying a crowbar. They knock a second and third time, alerting a small dog inside. When a car passes, they both turn to look down the street and ensure there are no witnesses. He knocks several more times, saying, "Come on, bro." But the second dude eventually taps him on the arm, indicating it's time to give up and leave, which thankfully they do. Whatever they came for, they left empty-handed. A young woman was walking home late at night when she was met with a worst-case scenario. Someone was following her. Posted to TikTok by Carolina Judah. The TikToker captures a montage of her journey from the foggy streets to the bus to a dark walk on her road home. A man is seen standing behind the bus stop. He is nothing but a shadow. She says she ignored him and just continued walking. Capturing a shot between her though, she finds that he's trailing her about 20 feet away. As the journey continues, he seems to be speeding up, and in fact, he gets closer. He appears to be wearing a hood. Carolina says he began shouting something at her, and she thought he'd been drinking. He falls behind a ways, and as soon as she rounds a bend, she sprints home. Although she couldn't see him anywhere when she arrived, 20 minutes later she heard the doorbell at the gate. She called her mom, but there was no answer, and outside her window she spotted the man standing just outside the gate. The man later jumped to the gate, crossed the garden, and tried yanking on the door handle. Carolina locked herself inside the bathroom waiting for her parents to arrive. He eventually stopped, but she stayed put, too afraid to move. In the video's comments, TikTokers suggest not to walk home when you're being followed, but rather lead the stalker to someplace with people and/or bright lights. This route looked like it had neither, so what should she do in this case? Any suggestions? Isn't it awful when the paranormal ruins your 15-minute break? Published by LD Praja in October of 2018. Mysterious activity in a factory in Sukabumi, Indonesia, had one worker running for the hills. The video shows a young man preparing something in the break room. Behind him, a piece of clothing hanging on a cabinet door starts moving on its own. He must have caught it out of the corner of his eye, because he looks over for a moment, but by that time it's still. Next, the chair behind him starts inching backward and around. The clothing starts moving again as well, but the guy doesn't notice. That is, until the chair is thrown backward and clatters on the ground. The man runs off, never to return again. Everyone is afraid of the boogeyman, but most people chalk him up to childhood nightmares. But what if the boogeyman is you? This video published to YouTube in February of 2009 by Dog4Man92. Once you see a reflection take on a life of its own, you'll wish this video never existed. The video at first appears normal, a man and his reflection more or less angled accurately in relation to each other. That is, until this uncanny moment where the reflection turns. The look it gives its double is a bit more than unnerving. Seeing this video may make you be wary of your own reflection. As YouTuber Sophie Bell notes in the comments, the creepy thing is, unless you are looking at it, all you can see is yourself, so you never know if your reflection is looking back at you. The next time you gaze at yourself in the mirror, don't you dare look away. Was this paranormal or a simple camera trick? Either one seems freaky to me. Unknown creatures can be startling, but none more so than this one. This clip submitted to the Chills Narrator subreddit by KidRob97, wondering what in the heck this creature is. Suggestions in the comments range from a bat to a giant flying squirrel to a calago, which is a flying lemur. Knowing what it actually is wouldn't make this footage any easier to watch. The creature is making one of the most agonizing sounds the human ear has ever heard while it bounds across the ground, hopping and unable to fly. The people have somehow caught the animal, which is tethered to a stick. If you've never seen this type of creature up close, this isn't the way you'd want to encounter it. People in the comments wonder if the animal somehow got stuck on this branch. However, the poor creature ended up in this position. I think we can all agree with Lisa's Matrix that this is just heartbreaking. Don't invite a witch to your birthday party. They aren't the best gift givers. Published by Scary Girl in June of 2020. This CCTV footage is about to give you chills. The residents of this home had been finding strange things outside on their front steps, delivered to them in the middle of the night, including lifeless animals. Could it be a cat leaving presents? The residents installed security cameras, and in March of 2015 at around 3 in the morning, these cameras captured a figure hobbling toward their front steps from a distance. The figure looked like an old woman in a dress. The woman bends down and places the object on the front steps and then hurries away. Another camera captures her walking off. Why did this witch leave a headless crow for the family? Is this an authentic electronic voice phenomenon caught on camera? Published by Massage ASMR in April of 2013. This video was filmed at a temple in Egypt in October of 2012. The YouTuber's friends shared this footage with Massage ASMR. The short clip appears to have captured a strange childlike sigh while on a temple tour.
With the eyes of the eye.
Like that was going north. As always,
Sorry.
this is me as going north.
According to the uploader, there were no children on the tour, which consisted of mostly Australians and South Africans. The voice sounds very out of place, which is why they thought it might be an EVP, perhaps even speaking ancient Egyptian. Is Cleopatra trying to speak to us? What is her message to the modern world? Or is something else haunting this temple? The answer remains unclear for now. A man riding his motorcycle in India at night captures a bizarre sight on his helmet cam that makes him scream in terror. A strange all-white figure crosses his lane without any regard for their safety. He manages to go around the apparition, still screaming all the while, but I can't help but wonder if he would have passed right through the phantom had he kept going straight. Don't get me wrong, this could in all likelihood simply be a regular person covering themselves with a shroud to make a scary video, but what's weird is how, when he passes by, you can see a spooky white light piercing from under the fabric that doesn't look like it belongs. He turns around immediately and lets out another scream because it's nowhere to be found. So is this a fake video? Or is this apparition actually recreating its final moments on Earth by walking on the road at night and then disappearing? What should you do when the Ouija board answers you? Published to the r/ghosts subreddit, Nepa Smash asks viewers their thoughts on this scary video, which was filmed during a Ouija board session in a haunted room of their home. In the clip, the group asks if any spirits would like to communicate. After a moment, there is an alarming bang off screen.
Are there any spirits that would like to communicate with us?
Two of the boys look up. Right before the bang, however, another mysterious action unfolds, but it's hard to see if you don't know it's there. A paintbrush is thrown across the room. Although it's difficult to tell in the video, this Imgur photo shows the incident in more detail. Many in the thread think a non-supernatural explanation might be that the guy laying on the floor off to the right could have played a trick on the other somehow, but some note that he doesn't even seem to react. As for the knock, well, the combination of the knock and the projectile does seem uncanny. Setting the rest aside, Redditor Eekecum draws the right conclusion. Please tell me you closed out of the Ouija board after that. Who knows what might have happened if they didn't? A group of neighborhood kids from Algeria decide to rush the local haunted house, reasoning that the ghost inside can't get them all. Someone tell me what's going on here. I think they might be nervous and start to pray.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أعوذ بالله من كلمات وش ذيك؟ اصبر 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 وراه.
Their words seem to have successfully riled up something as they gather excitedly to see what's behind this wall.
اصبر 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 شوف وش كاين هي، راه كاين حاجة من ربي جابني ربي قشتو بيه هاك.
You'll never believe the weird things they've caught on tape.
وش كاين هي؟
This still image taken at 3 minutes and 56 seconds shows it best, the outline of a shadow figure watching them as they leave. This is some of the best paranormal evidence caught on tape that I've seen in a while. The mysterious figure is standing directly under a window, and yet is still covered in darkness. Shand Ali Jat is a ghost hunting fashion model with a YouTube channel based out of Pakistan. Look what happens moments after he is caught on camera getting chills. A low-flying bat distracts them long enough to turn their back to a boarded-up window. Something bangs on this barricade from the other side. They stand in the center of the room more than an arm's length away from everything in sight. The ghost always seems to wait until their back is turned before it throws open a door or a window.
और यहाँ पर आपने बदबू चेक की? कितनी है बदबू? ओए चालू है। अल्लाह अकबर। ये क्या हो रहा है? अल्लाह अकबर। वो यार ये तो तावीज़ नहीं थे जानते।
They put a scroll in front of the fireplace, and the evil spirit sets the parchment on fire out of disapproval. The way it goes out is just as unnatural as the way it begins. None of them did anything to cause this that I can see. It's as if it spontaneously combusted. As they examine the door, this YouTuber is thrown into the wall by a paranormal force. It doesn't look like he jumped into the wall either. His head is up and his arms are down as if he's being held by the neck. As he lays gasping on the ground, one of their cameras captures the fireplace silently roaring back to life, like it's feeding off of their fear. Meanwhile, this final ghost sighting is caught on tape in the far corner of the room. It might be edited, but based on all of the other creepy paranormal evidence, I wouldn't be surprised if it was real. A YouTuber named BR Henry16 is deep in a Southern California mine when he sees a pale light off in the distance. The light doesn't have the intense brightness of modern electronics. Instead, it looks dim and swings at waist level, kind of like an old lantern would have. BR Henry16 is sure that this is the spirit of a cave miner, and I would have to agree. Let me know if you think the same, or if you believe this portion of the video was staged. A YouTube channel called Jaeger Expective is partying at a rental home they soon suspect is haunted after running some experiments. According to them, these motion-activated lights don't turn on unless someone is in the room, yet the lights come on here when the room is empty.
Isn't that censored?
I think the lights might turn on whenever the door opens though, because when you watch it again, that's pretty much exactly what happens. So they could be wrong about the lights, but next they hear a faint sound from far away. It sounds like one of those really old-fashioned phones that used to have an actual bell on top.
Everybody has their phones, right?
Everyone decides to talk about it again in the morning, and they go to bed, or at least they try. Strange sounds continue throughout the night, stuff that's hard to catch on camera, like a single footstep and nothing else. in the morning, they also have a bad feeling and feel what they describe as a chilly vibe permeating every room. Jaeger does a quick recording of every room in the house and picks up this figure, which I think could just be his reflection in a mirror, or maybe not. A Redditor named SwiftFool41 starts freaking everyone out when he started posting his porch cam videos on the advice subreddit. He had a bad feeling about a random late-night visitor and wanted to know what others thought he should do. The stranger gets out and knocks on the door after waiting for over 2 minutes in their car. He rings the doorbell and says something about a minute later, but he's looking down so it's hard to hear. The uploader of this video really wants to know what he says. Then he says something about being on the porch to someone on the phone, maybe just a friend, or perhaps an accomplice.
On the porch right now.
Reddit dismisses this as strange but not alarming. Maybe it was just somebody with a wrong address or something. But then, 5 days later, another porch cam video has them freaking out. 3 more cars pull up late at night, and no one gets out for a really long time. Over 17 minutes to be precise. What they do, it's a different stranger than before, and what he does next is odd. He knocks on the door and immediately counts a fat wad of cash. What is he expecting to buy out here, and why roll 3 deep to get it? The uploader doesn't answer the door, and Reddit has been freaking out ever since. This was over 2 years ago and the mystery has yet to be solved, or even updated for that matter, so who knows what the outcome was. Ever wondered what goes on in a pharmacy late at night? Well, apparently it's wilder than you think. Egyptoon published this creepy video in January of 2015. It's footage that will make you swear off pharmacies for a good long while. The green hue and flashing monitor on the desk are spooky enough to set the scene. Then the action begins. A white chair in the office starts to move all of its own accord, jerking to the left, then being lifted right up into the air before landing back down on the floor. It pulls slowly to the right, then yanks to the left again. A little later, something gaseous spurts out below, leaving black marks in the footage. Some in the comments of the video say this footage has been edited, or suggest the chair is being jerked around with strings. But maybe, just maybe, someone wasn't given the right prescription, and his ghost is seeking revenge. I, for one, hope he gets it. You gotta pay the troll toll. Posted to the Chills Narrator subreddit. The Redditor is wondering what's watching her son and nephew from under this bridge. She explains that the pair were night fishing. When her son told the person, animal, or monster to show itself, there was no reaction. The thing they capture from beneath the bridge appears to be peeking out from behind the wall. Some say it looks human, others think it's more demonic. But Redditor user unknown writes, what many are thinking, I wouldn't stick around to find out. Neither would they apparently, because according to the Redditor the pair fled, but behind him they heard clicking noises and something bashing through the trees, perhaps a troll after his hard-earned cash. You've never heard of the Rake? You're about to. YouTuber Apex TV notes that this clip was caught in a Mexican park, writing, many claim the strange creature is a legendary creature known as the Rake. Now what's the Rake, you ask? Described as humanoid-like in appearance, the legendary creature is said to go after humans and other animals for no known reason, and is cited as a possible proxy to the mysterious tall and skinny woodland lurker. According to records, the first account of a Rake, in which the writer uses the creature's name, appears in the 1691 Mariner's log. The next written description appears in the 1800s, charging the Rake with being absolutely terrifying with hollow black eyes. After hearing of these accounts and descriptions of the forest creature, does this mysterious figure atop the playground appear to be the Rake to you, or do you believe it's something else? If so, what? I stumbled across a scary elevator video from a Hindi-speaking YouTube channel. This video was the thumbnail image, and yet the video itself was missing on the list. That made me want to track down the original, and guess what? It's every bit as creepy as it looks. What looks like your average couple's argument goes way too far when he sees the door close at 8 seconds. The woman fearfully flinches, and this video is hard to watch because nobody deserves this and there's nowhere for her to go. By the time the elevator stops, her hands are tense and she is completely frazzled from the mistreatment. He goes to get her, but a stranger does the right thing and steps in between them. He immediately backs off and looks down in shame and embarrassment, but probably only for himself at getting caught. Anyone who does this is pretty messed up. I think this relationship is probably over. Anyway, this was originally posted by the Interval House in California, a place for women to get out of relationships like this one. I'm assuming this CCTV video is real, and it's something we really need to eliminate from society however we can. This driver and his friend both spot something strange while driving in Davidson, Maryland. They claim that this is a large black mass. I don't see anything during this first part, but let me know if you do.
Dude, get out of here. Back up, bounce back.
I definitely see something here though, and I'll even highlight it for you.
There it is again. That's it. Get out of here. Go.
What's crazy is how the object mysteriously disappears in less than a second. Based on how fast they speed away, I have little doubt that this video is absolutely real, and they felt like their lives were at risk. Published in July of 2020, the Urban Ghosts Urban Exploration team took the Randon Nautica app on a wild ride intended to lead them into places unknown. But somehow, for this team, the random destination was all too familiar. The app wound up taking them to a haunted cemetery that they'd explored 2 years prior. Joe explains that this is a bike park winding back into a cemetery deep into some heavy woods. During their last visit, they'd been scared out of it by what they thought was a bear. At one point, while looking at a grave in the fenced-in cemetery,
These are so old. Can kind of make it out.
whispering is heard in the background. All of Patty's batteries, which were fully charged, are now completely empty. When they fire up the spirit box, the spirit immediately says the name Joe. When asked if there's something they're supposed to find here, the spirit answers, "Near you." Joe feels like they're being watched. They keep hearing a man's voice coming from all directions. Rob, who's taking still images, also captures strange mists that appear in only some photographs. But the scariest find the team discovers in this haunted cemetery is a jewelry box on the ground. After misplacing it, they speak to the spirits through the spirit box again to see what's become of it. The spirit says Curtis.
It said Kurt. What did the box say again? Something.
Later, they happen upon the carved jewelry box, which has somehow been placed ahead of them on the path, and find the inscription Curtis carved into it. Who is Curtis and what's in the box? These questions are going to keep me up all night. What happens when you're on an extreme ghost hunt that goes horribly wrong? Published to YouTube in July of 2020, Simply Sereth can answer that question. He suggests using earphones to get the full effect of what happened to him and his crew when they got trapped in by unseen forces while exploring this bungalow. In the video, they wander through the dark abandoned house. It's raining outside, which adds to the creepy ambiance inside the home with its empty windows and doors. Nearly straight away, they keep hearing noises that makes them jump and search around for the source. The home is nightmarish, with bats or birds swooping down from the ceiling every so often. At one point, at 14 minutes 30 seconds, they hear footsteps above. At another point, there's a loud bang at the end of the hallway they're hovering in. While talking through the spirit box, they feel like something is at the end of the hallway again. They run for a moment, but then stall to talk again to the spirit box. They must have felt trapped like rats as they kept hearing noises on opposite ends of the hallway. But thankfully they eventually escaped with their lives. But did something else come with them? Ghost investigations are even scarier in another language. In this video posted to YouTube in December of 2018, ghost investigators attempt to infiltrate an abandoned house that we can only guess is haunted. At least it looks that way. While exploring the home, the investigator keeps hearing things moving, debris being unsettled, and from the way he's jerking his camera around, it seems he's sensing movements around him. What is in this home with him? The place appears as though someone just picked up and left. It's covered with debris and looks like it was abandoned in a state of chaos. While creeping around some upstairs room, the ghost investigators appear to sense someone or something, and that something grabs a hold of him. It's clear he's struggling with a force in the home. He tussles with it and for a moment is dragged backwards by the force before he escapes, racing out of there like his life depends on it, which it probably does. What is going on in this video? Is there any explanation as to what pulled this ghost investigator backwards? It certainly looks real to me. For fear of knowing, don't answer. After all, I don't think 99% of people could handle the answer.
어딨어? 자신 있으면 나와봐.
According to YouTuber Alberto Del Arco, even God has abandoned this church. He and his crew visit there, and they find a mysterious document that he's trying to piece together.
¿No dice el año?
Espera, creo que esto aquí. Sí, esto aquí. A ver, no tiene nada. ¿Qué más?
But as he does, someone is watching over him.
Más luz, por favor.
Oh, no manches. ¿Qué, güey? Acabo de ver a alguien arriba.
¿Dónde arriba? ¿Allá?
Arriba, sí, en el segundo.
¿En el coro?
Sí, sí, sí.
Pareciera que hay alguien, güey. Creo que lo tengo aquí.
¿Hay alguien ahí? ¿Hola?
Does this figure not want them putting the pieces of the puzzle together? Or was there even anyone there at all?
Más luz, por favor.
Oh, no manches. ¿Qué, güey? Acabo de ver a alguien arriba.
It does look like there's a momentary shadow up there, but I can't really tell if it's a figure or just a shift in the light.
Más luz, por favor. Oh, no manches. ¿Qué, güey? Acabo de ver a alguien arriba.
What do you see? Although I can't say I'm positive, I hope this pseudo-figure is part of this mystery in the making. An abandoned mansion in Houston, Texas appears as the epicenter of paranormal activity in this clip, posted to YouTube by Hugo Blog in August of 2016. The shell of a mansion looks creepy enough on the outside, but then they enter. Wandering around the house in the darkness, at some point, the group captures on video what appears to be a ghostly young girl. They apparently didn't see her in real time, as they don't race from the house or cry out in fear. This image was only discovered after playing back the footage. Would you have the guts to enter here? Cross the threshold and find out. When you find a suitcase with a pentagram inside, you should probably let it be. Published by Paranormal Points in February of 2022. While looking at this mysterious collection, Maxim doesn't realize he's standing alongside evil.
Убьет. Друзья, я не ошибаюсь. Это же вроде пентаграмма.
Soon the door closes at the end of the hall, and he can't open it.
Ах, черт. Я почему-то не могу ее сейчас открыть.
After he lights the pentagram, things only get stranger from there. When he asks who's there, this is the response.
Кто здесь?
And soon the demon isn't answering any more questions. What is in this basement with Maxim? And will it let him out? This phantom is on a shopping spree, Published by Phantom Encounter in April of 2020, security footage captured some strange activity in the shop after hours. A meditation book is thrown to the floor from a stand next to the owner's desk. A moment later, a loud noise is heard off screen, like something has been dropped to the floor. The owner says she's familiar with this noise because it happens frequently. One of the handmade lampshades has been thrown to the floor. What do you think is going on here? Jones Margaret writes in the comments, considering the age of the building and its history along with the age of the buildings around you, it isn't surprising that you have so many ghosts. I have to agree, this activity does seem to suit the environment. This police cam footage was taken during a massive wildfire in Sonoma County, California in 2017. Officers are doing what they can to evacuate the public and restore order, but as this brief dashcam video shows, they were up against total chaos at the time.
It's had to work for the fire department and here it's back by actors. He said they're unaware of which way the fire is going. They had so many fires, they can't really keep track at this point, and they also cannot answer it.
Listen closely and you'll even hear the dispatcher say that they can't tell which direction the fire is spreading and seems to be genuinely overwhelmed. I have to salute this officer and all of the other brave public officials who willingly charged into a massive blaze to try and help everyone. A YouTube channel called Meet the Vloggers goes exploring a haunted cemetery in the United Kingdom in search of an authentic ghost encounter, and they think they've caught a bizarre moment on tape. After a tight squeeze, the three of them are in and immediately feel surrounded by negative energy.
First, we've just come into the haunted cemetery and we're going to have a look around. It feels really eerie, like really starting to get dark a lot as well. We're staying here, we're doing exploring, man. This guy doesn't understand what exploring means.
One already wants to head back while there's still light to be had, but is quickly persuaded to stay. Night falls and their unwavering dread reaches peak levels.
100%.
I'm waiting. Oh my god, I'm so scared. What?
One of them, Layla, sees something ahead but nothing is caught on camera. Aside from an empty walkway, no ghost sighting, at least not yet. Little do they know a fourth person is moments away from joining their trio. They take a few steps forward and Layla begins to freak out again. She must have a sixth sense or something because this time there is frightening paranormal evidence.
This is so creepy.
Come on, man.
No, I'm actually bugging.
There's a guy behind us.
A strange and mysterious figure silently approaches them without saying a word. Keep in mind this is after hours, and they themselves had to sneak in through the gate, so whoever this is, they are not likely a visitor. That leaves a maintenance or security, but if that were the case, then they would have said something to three people trespassing. Night has fallen and they are on their way out when they hear some really scary noises that prompt them to move a little faster.
Lights on the torch.
Am I lying in the room? What is that?
No. Lucy, what? Lucy.
Across from them is a humming crying noise coming from some kind of candlelit vigil that they don't want to investigate. If they did, they might have encountered the scariest ghost sighting ever caught on camera. A motorcycle vlog turns paranormal when a man in India goes exploring down a long haunted cemetery road. His dashcam refuses to focus as he rides past the cemetery gates. So strong is the paranormal energy, he thinks he made a big mistake coming down here, and based on what happens next, I'd say he was right. Their lights chance upon a lone figure wearing a dress. There's no reason for anyone to be on foot out here at this hour. No flashlight or any source of light. Minutes away from a haunted cemetery. The figure is not a tree and appears to be stepping first towards and then away from them. I suppose it could be a pedestrian, but like I said, why someone would be roaming this eerie place is anyone's guess. A YouTuber named Hello Ryan Holmes lives in a house that you and I want no part of. Scary noises have become part of a daily ritual stemming from paranormal activity, or so he suspects. So when it happens again, Ryan grabs a camera to see if he can catch a ghost on video.
Did you just see that? I definitely just heard somebody run up the stairs.
Ryan thinks he hears creeping noises of a ghost running up the stairs. Ghost or not, he is definitely not alone. Camera in hand, Ryan gets no further than the kitchen before he realizes...
What the
all of the cabinets have mysteriously opened on their own, and when he goes to close them...
Why the is everything open? What the What the
He turns around only to find that the ghost has moved every object in his kitchen back to where it was. It looks normal at first, but I think there is an editing cut here at 2 minutes, when he briefly zooms into the cabinet for no reason at all. He could have stopped recording, moved all of the objects, and then started recording again to make it seem like it was all done in one take. A YouTuber named Musafir Vlogs is biking through India late at night when something causes his bike to stop working. They later claimed during this part to have felt a spirit close by, and upon starting their bike heard a voice. I'm not sure if I hear it or not, but since this video has a lot of likes and so many people who claim to hear it, maybe I'm just not listening correctly. I think I might hear a gulping noise at 7 minutes and 18 seconds. Almost like someone taking their final breaths underwater. Tell me what you hear. This video will have you questioning how safe your food is if you live with roommates. Basically, a woman in South Carolina was caught on hidden camera, opening up the fridge and spraying select items with window cleaner. At first, it looks like she might simply be cleaning a dirty spot on the shelf, but when she takes a container out that still has food in it, gives a few good sprays, and then puts it back, it becomes clear that she is tampering with food. Since there is a hidden camera in the first place, I'm guessing she has been doing this for a long time, or at least long enough to make her roommate suspicious. She even almost notices the camera at approximately 1 minute into the video, but seems to shrug off the sensation of being watched. When faced with the evidence, she was put in a first offenders program and faced no time. Do you think this is fair based on the video, or should she have gotten a harsher punishment? A YouTuber named Justin Brown has been seeing odd-looking people living in tents near his hometown. In Lompoc, California. He is too nervous to investigate the situation in person, so he sends his drone over for a closer look. Imagine Justin's surprise when he discovers an entire colony of strangers living on a riverbed less than a mile from his home. He has no idea who they are, what they want, or why they are so close to a suburban neighborhood, which doesn't seem particularly special in any way. Also, no one can seem to figure out what this mysterious blinking blue light is. Take a look at the way it keeps flashing persistently, and tell me what kind of technology you think it could be. Maybe together we can figure out who lives here and their purpose. Japan knows horror. Here's a creepy clip from the Far East. Imagine approaching a traffic light only to run into this. A creepy woman at a pedestrian crossing in Sapporo, Japan, seems to be in a trance-like state. Halfway through the pedestrian crossing, she stopped to stare straight at oncoming traffic, completely unmoving. Although it's clearly the time to cross, as you can see other pedestrians using the crosswalk behind her, she is at a standstill, staring off unnervingly, causing the driver taking the video to wonder what in the world is going on. Even as the light changes, the woman continues to stand there in the middle of the road staring. The driver passes around her, capturing the woman on video, still frozen in place as they pass her by. What do you think is going on? The woman's behavior is unexplainable. Seems like something might be in the water in Japan. You might consider calling the cops on the intruder trespassing on your property at night, but when it turns out to be this woman, maybe you should call a ghost hunter instead. Posted to Twitter by Daniela Guerrero, she writes in Spanish, "Okay, my parents have a security company, and how about the officials of a condominium have just passed them a heavy video of what happened last night. The video shows a large yard with a small pool. In the distance, a woman dressed in white crosses the property. She has dark hair and moves steadily forward until she's closer to the camera. She strides across, clearly on a mission, and that mission is to evaporate in plain sight. The phantom trespasser disappears into the night as she rounds a corner. What does she want here, and where did she go? All questions and no answers. Perhaps that's what we're supposed to have." A man is videotaping an abandoned home from above when he catches what could be something paranormal as it dashes away. A misty black cloud snakes along the wall and trails off into the abandoned house, veering out of sight. The cameraman zooms in for a better look but finds nothing. I think this appears to be CGI, but the way the cameraman behaves makes me think that it could be real. He stays focused on the spot for a little bit, then draws back and studies the entire area for more activity. He doesn't immediately stop recording like most videos. Bejewel TV claims to have recently made contact with the supernatural world during a live stream taken at a haunted graveyard in Indonesia. He lights some incense and then weird things are caught on camera with absolutely no wind blowing.
Allahu Akbar.
40 seconds later is when it happens. Paranormal contact.
Nah, ini dia. Halo. Halo. Dia diam aja. Mbak.
I would say this has to be special effects except for one thing. These scary moments were caught on live stream with a live chat that was amazed at the ghost sighting. Even with that said, I still think this video could have been pre-recorded because he never seems to directly address what the chat has to say, nor does he call anybody by their screen name, all of which indicates this video might not be live. The ghost doesn't say anything to him. At 15 minutes and 58 seconds, it reaches out to him shortly before disappearing back to wherever it came from. This could simply be a digital image of somebody superimposed over the video, but I'll wait to see what you have to say before making my final decision on this one. A suspicious looking man is all eyes as he creeps up to a luxury hotel room in India. At 22 seconds, the intruder looks into the window and contemplates doing something terrible to whoever's inside. His hand goes up to his mouth like he's uncertain. Maybe he is having a change of heart, but more realistically, he's probably noticing how many cameras there are in this hotel and finding someplace else. Even though he doesn't follow through, this is probably one of the creepiest looking disguises I've seen someone wear. I can only imagine how terrified hotel workers were when whoever was inside complained and they checked the cameras only to see floating eyes. Hopefully he never comes back. Larry Glow has a haunted home that keeps him on edge at all times. He records down the hallway because a ghost is down there. He's sure of it. I'm not sure what he is saying and need your help to fully understand. He hears a loud noise from behind as the ghost walks past and touches a light. The living room is where he experiences the most paranormal activity, so there's already a second camera all set up. Here is the same scary moment from a different angle. As you can see, he hears a bang, turns around, and that's when this stuffed animal gets possessed. Is someone pulling strings off camera, or are these objects moving on their own? YouTuber Johnny Paranormal 74 writes that they caught this on Alonzo's live earlier this evening. The live stream was captured in an empty mausoleum in Mexico. Let's take a look.
¿Escuchas? ¿En qué parte estás? ¿Lo viste? ¿Lo viste?
Se cerró todo. Pensé que iba a tronar.
Se cerró la puerta. ¿Hay alguien ahí? Se cerró la puerta, Gary.
When he looks inside, you can see there's nobody there.
A ver qué es lo que hay adentro. La puerta está cerrada, miren. La puerta está cerrada. Bien nomás. Tengo que abrir más.
Do you see what I see? If not, you're about to hear it.
Dime, estás aquí. Mira, otra vez. Otra vez, ¿lo viste? Alguien está dentro, Clary.
Did you hear that? I'm sure you did, because as I see it, this is one of the most scary videos you'll ever see. While touring this haunted home, YouTuber Dimitri from A Sip of Fear finds that Devilry is at play. First he hears it. Later, after setting up some cameras, his work is thrown to the ground.
Что происходит и все?
It seems to me that the devil does not wish to be captured on camera, but he has no say in the matter. If I were Dimitri, I'd be getting out of there ASAP. On a trip to Thailand, YouTuber D-Doc Michael skipped the beaches and instead spent his holiday exploring this intensely haunted house. Upon entering, he hears whispers. He continues his exploration but is scared off by another voice.
어이 씨발 깜짝이야 누구야?
Still, he stays. As his search goes on, he hears another noise.
누구세요? Who are you?
And at last, he sees what's making it.
Help!
The stranger in the abandoned place is ready to throw down.
Who are you? Hey! What?
Michael runs off, thankfully escaping unharmed. To me, this just goes to show that live humans are often scarier than spirits. This video shows you never know what you might encounter next in the desert. Haley Steele was at Burning Man 2012 in Black Rock City, Nevada, when a massive dust devil formed right in front of her very eyes.
Oh, here it comes. Oh, that kid's gonna ride right through it.
Amazingly, you can see someone casually riding their bike as the massive cloud of dust surrounds him. If this was happening in front of me, I'd be hightailing it out of there. The last thing I want is dust in my eyes, ears, and nose. YouTuber Hassan Barbar writes that the Jinn of the Stick is the strongest thing in the world of the Jinn, and he's captured it on video. Let's take a look. Soon you can hear the Jinn moaning nearby.
طب ليش انت ما ظهرت اي لما كان الشيخ هون؟
And finally, Hassan comes across the jinn stick.
انت وحده؟ يعني طب ليش وقعتيها يعني تخوفيني اطلع من المكان؟ برجعه هسه الشيت. برجع الشيخ خوي. ها في صوت.
Hassan follows the sound of a bottle being kicked around, but he finds nothing.
ها معقول.
Is the jinn up to his games again? I think he just might be, and if that's the case, Hassan had better be careful. The jinn is around every corner. Recorded from Haunted Room 405 in San Antonio's Emily Morgan Hotel, this phantom is reflected. Watch the bottom right corner of the mirror. A misty shape appears there for a moment before the camera turns right. Watch again. Did you see that? Well, this could simply be the change in light as the camera shifts. I want to believe. Do you? Submitted to the Chills Narrator subreddit by a sleepad8673, this redditor wrote, Randon Nautica at its finest. Let's watch their submission and see what they're talking about.
Oh, it smells horrible. Oh yeah. It's in the middle of the woods.
So the keys have to be in there.
Yeah. Yeah. The lights came on.
It appears this redditor stumbled upon a creepy abandoned car in the middle of nowhere with the help of Randon Nautica. In the comments, Chi Jojo said, "This is like the third Randon Nautica video I've seen of cars being abandoned in the middle of the woods. One had a child's voice coming out of nowhere saying, 'Do you want to play?' Strange indeed." To which the redditor who found this car replied, "I'm so glad there's no audible EVPs asking me if I want to play, especially a child's voice. For some reason, that's even creepier. Somebody on Reddit helped me get the VIN number and ran it. Came back with an alert for a reported stolen vehicle, so it appears this abandoned car was stolen. Now the question on my mind is, who took the car and left it here?" This video, captured in Israel, has me wondering if there's a whole other world under the sea. YouTuber Tpoza1996 shares this footage of what they believe is a mermaid. Watch and judge for yourself.
Yeah, man, it's cool. Got a seal all rocked on her? That big? Yeah, yeah. That's a weird looking seal, man. Yeah. Show me this.
Was that a seal or a mermaid? Take a closer look.
Please? Oh my, what is that?
While many in the comments think it's a real mermaid, I don't think the footage is clear enough to tell what exactly it is. But its movements don't scream seal to me either, and the way it turns around to look at them is super creepy. If it's not a mermaid, I think it could very well be some other underwater mythical creature. While filming the Milky Way above, YouTuber Homestead How captured an unidentified flying object above his house. Let's take a look.
Okay, I'll just show it on screen. Here's
Spencer!
Here's number one. Katie, watch.
Clean your screen.
Yeah, I do.
Keep going.
What is that? An air? I swear to not edit that. This photo isn't edited at all.
That does look like an unidentified flying object to me. They crop it to zero in.
If nothing else, this is a cool shot. You can see the house and the stars. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, what the heck? It looks like there's
roller
little
coaster.
lights. There's little lights.
I'll show this on the screen too. Here, I'm gonna take a screenshot.
A second shot is even clearer, and YouTube commenters are blown away by it.
That's a helicopter?
That's what it
Is that a helicopter?
It's like little seats.
What, like, look, you can see stars behind it. If this was a helicopter, wouldn't there be like a thing here and this, and then a propeller?
And then a
there-
person.
and
This camera zooms in far, and you can see
a window
Oh,
here?
look.
I agree with Snakebite. That's one of the clearest unidentified flying object pics I've ever seen. In my opinion, it couldn't be anything but an unidentified flying object. This mausoleum of sorts has been abandoned, and the YouTube team, Beyond the Grave, ventures inside to investigate. While there, they capture this incredible EVP through a spirit communication device.
Where can you guys see Louisa?
My body's around here.
That's entirely too spot on to be dismissed. The spirit confirms that her body is amongst these coffins. Let's hear it one more time.
Where can you guys see Louisa?
My body's around here.
I understand why her body's here, but why is her spirit lingering nearby? I think she is having a hard time letting go of the corporeal world. A second entry on this list explores Hill House, the most haunted house in Texas. This time, YouTuber Kelsey Davis, who is a psychic medium, feels the presence there.
I have chills right now. There's someone behind me. I think it's Toby.
I'm getting the chills. Toby.
And she hears it too.
Oh my. Kelsey, it started running. Oh, it started running.
14?
Yes. It was loud. You heard his foot. It was like that.
As they're turning on the Spirit app, they hear another terrible bump.
Kelsey.
Later, a paranormal device goes off, as does a child's toy.
Where's that coming from?
It's upstairs.
It's Josh's room.
Get the out of here. No, this.
That is.
This.
What was that?
It's a toy.
That's in Josh's room.
They head up to Josh's room to see what toy was triggered.
Hi, Joshua. What?
Something ran up again, ran at me.
Ran at you?
Yeah.
What's this sound?
Where's that coming from?
I think I've had enough of Hill House. I'm 100% positive that if I paid this place a visit, I'd leave with my pants brown. While in the witch's house, YouTuber Dennis from Dark Ghost Paranormal discovers a living Rognet doll. The doll instantly puts Dennis on edge.
По всему телу. Здесь очень много мух появилось.
He places a walkie-talkie in the room with the doll.
Оставлю одну рацию здесь.
And he listens back to a recording he made.
Так, вытаскиваю микрофон.
The doll is watching. While he's in the room with it, he hears something in the next room. But he finds nothing. Though it seems like this creepy doll is harmless, there is something about it that raises my hair on end. Dennis packs it up and returns it home, but he does not enjoy the doll's company.
Она уже оказалась там на диване. Все. Сейчас ее замотаю, как она была. Положу ее в сумку и заберу с собой.
Given these events though, I'd say that's understandable. Imagine something is chasing you through a maze, only you cannot see it. One of my favorite paranormal teams, Joe and Elliot of Ghost Theory, investigates this poltergeist labyrinth, a house full of sound and fury. Upon first entering, they start hearing noises.
Well, it's from my right, so it's down that way. Of course it is. And that just looks haunting. It does. Hello?
You can hear some creaking, but is it just the house settling, or is someone there? They think it's just the wind, until this happens.
Take my light. Oh, it's my back.
They start to hear banging around, and then they hear voices.
Is there someone in them? What yonder?
You can clearly hear movement in the darkness.
Where's my back?
They are capturing some cinematics before leaving when some of the loudest activity occurs. There's some conflicting thoughts about this video in the comments. Some believe that all the noises you're hearing are poltergeist activity. Others think there were intruders on site. Either way, my fear is running hot on this one. Home to the so-called Black Monk, 30 East Drive is one of the most haunted places in the United Kingdom. YouTube team The Ouija Brothers are here to investigate, or at least do a sleep study. As they're asleep in one of the rooms, a noise is heard. And later the noise again, and this time watch the chest of the man in the bed. It looks like someone pressed down on his chest. The YouTubers say that this is the only time this movement happens in over 2 hours of footage. Later, while wandering the house, they hear a very loud, unexplained sound.
And then I'm standing in here and it felt like it was in my face.
What was that?
I had that very...
Are you here? I laid that bang was.
Here it is again from another camera.
And then I'm standing in here and it felt like it was in my face.
What was that?
The banging is heard throughout the house.
That's incredible. What was that? Almost. Hello? Stay.
I don't need more convincing. This place is clearly full of terror, and it seems to love to wreak havoc. If your apartment is this haunted, it's time to pack up and leave. This creepy investigation by YouTuber Seeker of Ghosts reveals some extreme poltergeist activity. It starts with the chimes. Then the poltergeist moves on to this cup.
Yeah, cool. Yep.
A moment later, a stool moves. Later, the TV turns on by itself. This is shortly followed by the kitchen door closing on its own. Apparently, this ghost doesn't know if he wants in or out. It's not clear what decision he eventually made, but it's clear to me that this place is really haunted. And the result is this scary video that I wish wasn't so scary. Your neighborhood watch is supposed to make you feel safer. It shouldn't make you feel like this. YouTube channel D's Dark Adventures shares this footage sent in from a man in Michigan who said he was called to the end of the street by his neighborhood watch, and this is what he found. After watching the watchman for a while, the guy realizes this figure is not a man. Look at those eyes. Human eyes don't have eye shine at night. When the figure starts walking menacingly toward him, he decides to get the heck out of there. What is this thing? I don't know, but if I had to guess, I'd say it isn't human. What would you do if you knew you were possessed? This story and photo are trending in the Spanish-speaking YouTube community. Giovanni Gonzalez from Tijuana, Mexico sent this email to YouTuber Breakman. His email explains that he's been having the same nightmare for weeks of a creature with bright eyes, long hair, and a large tongue. This image is a representation of what he saw, and since he's been having these nightmares, something strange has been happening to him, and the photo he sent will prove it. Let's take a look. Do you see it? Take a closer look at his iris. Is this an image error? The figure in his iris convinced Giovanni that these dreams weren't nightmares, but rather that this nightmare lives inside of him, like a vampiric parasite sucking his energy. As the occult suggests, should he ignore the spirit so as not to give it strength? Can he wait out these nightmares until they cease? That's what Breakman recommends. I don't know if I'd be able to follow that advice though.